Hey, everybody. Today, I want to talk a little bit about general partnerships. It's come up a few times in my practice lately, and so it seems like it's worth discussing. Um, Here's the thing. So, when people start doing business together, a lot of times they will start an LLC or an S Corp or something. They'll write agreements and they'll really flesh out what they're doing, what they're agreeing to. But other times, especially in music, it seems like we like to handshake our way down the road quite a bit. I don't love it, but it happens. And so in Texas and Tennessee, which is what I'm limiting my discussion to today because that's where I'm licensed, the statutes are different, but they're similar in some important ways, and that's what I'm going to dwell on. One of the things is that when two or more people decide to conduct business for profit, they they create a general partnership. If they haven't created some other entity, they create a general partnership. And here's an important part: it happens whether you intended to do it or not, whether you wanted it to happen or not, whether you intended. It's there. When you decide to conduct business together outside of another entity, a general partnership arises. And when you create a general partnership, you may think that, well, we didn't write anything down, we didn't, create a company, so I'm being kind of smart and I don't really have any obligations. But that's not true. When you create a general partnership, there are legal fiduciary duties that arise: the legal duty of care and the duty of loyalty. And essentially, those things mean that you have to act in the interest of the general partnership, and you can't put your own interest above that of the general partnership. So, if all of a sudden love is lost and you're not as friendly anymore and it doesn't feel as good, and you want to take the album that the other person paid for and just kind of walk away, you can't do that because general partnerships have these fiduciary duties. And if you do something that benefits you and harms the general partnership, then you can get sued. And there are other causes of action that can arise too, not just the breaches of the fiduciary duty. There can be constructive fraud, there can be unjust enrichment, all sorts of stuff. But so the point is, I just want everyone to know that it's better to sit down and just write things down, be very clear about what you're agreeing to and what your obligations are. I'll probably talk about verbal agreements in some other posts, but right now the whole thing is you're not being clever by not writing something down. You're still creating obligations. You have legal duties to one another, and you still have obligations. They're just a little hazy. So do your business, take on the investor, all that kind of stuff is great. It's good for the music, but you've got to do right by each other and you've got to do right by the partnership that you create, whether it's intentionally or not. Or you're going to find yourself in some trouble. So be good out there, shake it up, do some business, and I'll see you next time.